All right. Hour number 3. Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Barrett Brooks, Derek Gunn, Rob Ellis hanging with you. Smash that like button if you could, folks. We certainly do appreciate if you could do that for us. We're going to be joined hopefully momentarily by Marc Jackson from NBC Sports Philadelphia. We'll talk a little Sixers with Marc as they are in Miami tonight and then in Dallas tomorrow. So that is a tough 1-2 punch, but we knew that going in, guys. This month of March is challenging for them. 17 games in 31 days. 12 of the first 15 are on the road, 4 sets of back-to-backs. So not going to be easy right now. And they're kind of, they took a couple shots, and they're just sort of, kind of seeing where they're at right now after the last 2 games, and they lost to Boston and of course the last one to Miami, and they get them again tonight. So we'll see how that shakes out. Should be interesting.
That's really how you have to look at it, man, because I can't see them not being like the word midway through the season.
Right.
I still have faith in them. It's not blind faith like I had them last year. I'm a little bit more reserved, but I do think they have an opportunity. I think that Embiid going into this playoff season will give us a lot better of an effort. Not necessarily that he was lacking, but more of an upbeat effort. He always gives effort, but more of an upbeat effort instead of a moping effort.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with not winning the MVP last year. All right, so let's dig into it. Looks like Marc is up and ready to rock and roll. If you get a chance, check him out. NBC Sports Philadelphia does an excellent job on the pre and post game as well as halftime with Amy Fadul and the coach Jim Lynam. And first off, Marc, congrats on your boy, man. Catholic League championship the other night for your Roman squad. Good for him, man. And what was a heck of a game on both the girls and the boys side there at the Palestra at the Cathedral.
Yeah, it was a good game. I have 2 sons on Roman Catholic.
Okay.
So let's give them both.
Yeah.
Jackson, who's a sophomore, who's a starting low post player for him. And my son, Sammy Jackson, who's a freshman guard, comes off the bench for him. So I have 2 sons who won that championship. And the ironic thing about it, a statistician ran up to me after the game, was like, "Do you know what today is?" I said, "No. It's the 30th anniversary of you and the head coach winning the championship in this building in overtime as well."
Oh.
I'm like, "Holy cow, you serious?" Like, "Yes, sir." So that was crazy when he ran up and told me that. So that was crazy stat.
That's awesome, man. Is it hard for you? You played, obviously, you played at the highest level. You were a great player in high school, college, the whole nine. Is it hard for you to watch? Like, are you nervous? How hard is it to watch the kids play? Because you can't control that, right?
You can't control what happens with them when they're in their journey, but you also are aware and see how can I best help them. So I'm in their ear a lot. We work out a lot together in the weight room as well as on the court. So we do those things. I have 3 sons, and all 3 of them are incredible basketball players to their thing. And we work on a lot of stuff together. So I can't fight their battles for them. And, I'm also being a father, but I think I look at it more as also being a father, but also actually being an advisor, being a coach. Like, how would I help them? How can I help in this situation? So it was stressful. It's a stressful situation watching them out there, but I'm also a proud father. So, but win, lose, or draw, I just know I love them to death.
Yeah.
Are you a verbal dad in the stands, or do you sit on your hands?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. Like, at first, I was a very quiet person, but now as the game, I'm not coaching them. No, I never do that.
Right.
But I'm communicating from the side. Like, watch the back, pick it back. Yo, X, watch it. Like, I'm that guy.
Mm.
So, or I'm always, I never give my son instructions. All I scream is eat. All I scream is eat. Like, I want you to be a dog out there. I want you to go after every rebound. I want you to get a loose ball. I want you to make sure you do your good. So all I scream is eat. That's not necessarily rebounding. That's not necessarily scoring. That's just having an impact on every single play.
I need you to be in the next Sixers game, and I want you to tell Tobias, eat. That's what I want you to do. Eat. I want you to be out there telling them all, I need you all to eat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's really pissed me off now, man.
Yeah. So
the inconsistency, but
well, let's go there, Marc. I mean, because look, I was on the hey, give these guys a chance. This is a new year. When they beat Memphis, I felt like there was something different there. And then you see some of the bad habits creep in against the Celtics and then the Heat the other night. Where do you think they are right now as a team?
You know, so it's interesting. So one thing, you know, this person said, I'm Mr. She called me Mr. Philadelphia. She says, you are Mr. Philadelphia because you're touchable. And you have conversation with people daily on the street and they ask these same questions. I'm always make sure I'm honest. You know, if you actually, and people, the same people I see on a daily basis in Center City, the same people I see them, they ask the same question. You still like this team? You still like this team? A month ago, I would always say, it's hard for me to pick things that would make me say I couldn't see this team going to the finals. And today, a guy asked me today, as I was training, like, did you still feel that way you felt 3 weeks ago? And I was like, now I'm scratching my head. And let me tell you why. I still like this team. I think we need scoring. We have scoring. We need defense. We got guys that can stop. We need keep you to get people easy opportunities, get some buckets. We have that. But one thing that resonates to me is we lose to Boston in a close game. We lose to Miami. Yes, we beat Memphis, but Memphis hasn't been great the last 10 games. I don't know what their record's been in the last 10 or 12 games. They haven't been the Memphis opponent.
Right.
No disrespect to them. They just haven't been flowing like that. So when you lose to Boston, when you lose to Miami, we say, oh, that's okay, there's good losses, there's good teams. That's true, they're good teams. But we're supposed to be a good team. How come we can't get that win? How come Joel Crushheim is not making that basket to win the game? How come the shot that Jimmy made the other night? How come James didn't make the shot? How come it's okay for us to lose these games in these fashions when I feel as though it should be us winning them in those fashions? And I'm not the one to be different when the playoffs come. When you play against a certain level of competition, a level of how to get the win should come to the forefront. How come we're not getting those wins? How come it's okay for us to say, oh, we lost that game because Tatum hit a great shot? Or why wasn't that us hitting that great shot? Oh, we lost that game because Jimmy hit an acrobatic shot. How come that wasn't us winning that game? So, like, do I pick us to win the finals now? I don't. And I can't pinpoint what it is, but we're not getting these wins that I would like for us to get. Do we have a good team? Absolutely. Do we have a lot of pieces we need to win? Absolutely. But we need to bring it together. We need to bring it together now.
Mark, let me ask you this. When you have the final stretch of a schedule like the Sixers do, the toughest schedule down the stretch, how difficult is it mentally and emotionally to get up for every game? I mean, you're only human. And basically, if you look at the final 20-something games they have, all of them have playoff ramifications in terms of seeding. Now, they've got a stretch of back-to-back-to-backs, 12 or 15 on the road against better competition than what they played before the All-Star break. Isn't there ebbs and flows in terms of how you can mentally get up every night for games?
Let me tell you how I think differently. I like the fact that it's like that.
Right.
Because you have no excuse to not get up for games.
Right.
When you're playing against a good team this day, two bad teams, mediocre teams this day, playing another good team this day, your mind could wander. But for me, when you're constantly playing against the elite of the elite every single night, it sharpens your skill. I'm a big believer in iron sharpens iron. I'm a huge believer in iron sharpens iron. So every single night I'm playing against the elite team, then my mind can never go. My focus can never worry. It has to be consistent. It has to be top notch. And it makes you a better club, and it makes you prepare for what's about to come down the pipe when it's a 7-game series.
Well, let me ask,
Go ahead, B.
I'm gonna ask you this then. All right, so in saying that and looking how this team is put together, and is Tyrese Maxey in a position where he can continue to be a guy that comes off the bench? Because his numbers, I understand why they do that, because he can eat with the second unit. But he has the most point production when he's on with the starters. Where is that in his development, especially this year? Because they're going to need him in the worst way when you got Tobias Harris getting 2 points and DeAnthony Melton, 6 points. They're going to need him to fill it up a little bit once we do get into the playoffs. So is he where he's supposed to be right now, or would you start him or keep doing what he's doing right now?
That's a little question, my man, but let me tell you like this. I think he's where he needs to be right now.
Okay.
He needs to come off the bench because he really can't eat like he should eat when he's in the starting lineup with James Harden and Joel Embiid. He just can't. My biggest complaint as a starter is that he would score in bunches, where he would go up and down the floor and not be involved in offense 3, 4, 5 plays in a row, and then he'd get it, and he's now downhill 4 or 5 plays in a row. Then he'll go back to not being involved. It's hard for a player to stay in rhythm. Like for Tobias, even though Tobias' numbers have been up and down, Maxey out of the lineup, starting lineup, helps Tobias get more touches on the ball. Is he being effective as he's been his whole career? Absolutely not. If you was to ask him, he'll tell you, I haven't been myself. Absolutely not. Because it's hard for me to get in the flow. We got 2 ball-dominant scorers in James Harden and Joel Embiid. Yeah, you got to find a way. You got to find a way. And the reason why Melton and PJ Tucker's in the lineup over Maxey, because it gives Tobias an opportunity to be more involved, to get going, whether it's a catch or shoot, whether it's to put the ball on the floor, create, but it gives an opportunity. Now you put Maxey in there, that's just too many guys that have to touch the rock. That's why I like Maxey off the bench. And I'll tell you this, people can talk about how great James' numbers have been, how great Joel has been. But listen, Maxey needs to be consistently going downhill every single play. He gives this team another aspect of scoring. He gives this team another threat. The way he scores the ball is not in the even flow of the game. He creates opportunity by being a one-man fast break, by or makes and misses, pushing the ball, and able to put the other team on their heels because he's downhill. He's 150 miles an hour in a lane that's zoned for 65. That's why Max is so important. That's why he has to be consistent. If he's not getting 20, he needs to be shooting the ball 20 times every game.
Mark, here's the question I have for you. And I understand why Doc's doing this. You know, Melton gives you more defensively, and you could have some real shortcomings with Harden out there and Maxey out there. I get it, believe me. But do you think about switching this up at all and throwing Maxey back into the starting lineup and Melton off? Melton's not giving you much offensively. I don't know if he's hurt or he's just falling, hitting a wall, whatever. And then it might be a way to get Maxey more consistently going. Do you try to switch things up at all, I guess is my question?
So, if, you know, we all want to be sideline quarterback, our coaches, because we think we know everything when we're not in the trenches. So what would I do personally? I would leave it just the way it is. And let me tell you why Melton's up and down. We don't need Melton to give you 20 points. We don't need that. The reason why Melton's in the lineup is we don't need that from him. We need that from Maxey. Melton's main objective is to be a defender out there, to give us miscellaneous things. Maxey has a much bigger role than that. He has a greater role to play for this team. We need his offensive ability. We need him to be a spark. So for him being in that lineup, he will start to fluctuate and have the even flows like Melton's having, like Tobias having. We can't afford for Maxey to be that. Maxey has to be a scorer for us. That has to be consistent. It can never be games where he's not in the flow offensively. It can't be games he's shooting 4 times like sometimes Tobias has. We cannot afford for Maxey to do that. That's why Melton's in the lineup. That's why PJ Tucker's where they are. Because we can afford those guys to focus no matter what. Defense is our card. We need more energy. We need more defensive stops. We need more presence defensively. And that's why PJ Tucker and Melton's in that lineup.
Mark, give me one player that really just frustrates you on this team. When you look at this game, you're thinking, on both sides of the court, why aren't you doing this? And why haven't you done that? Give me one player that might fall in that category.
Well, you have to forgive me. None of the players frustrate me because I played this game. So, as you know, as a professional athlete, you can't say a player frustrates you because they're doing their job. 99.9% of people in the world can't do their job. They don't frustrate me. But if I have to pick a player I would like to see have a better season, it would be Tobias.
Okay.
It would be Tobias because people, and I know, and here's the problematic situation. You're judged on your contract. We can say whatever, people say whatever, oh, it's about this. No. Players in sports are judged on their contracts. How great you are, it's also about where you're getting paid at that determines how we judge are you really great or not. And that's the thing with Tobias. Me personally, I know it's hard for Tobias, but Tobias is not a catch and shoot guy. That's Furkan, that's other guys. That's not Tobias. Tobias has never been at his entire career. So now he's trying to adjust to a role that he's actually struggling with. And we've seen that struggle coming once we brought in James Harden. He's like, man, we got too many cooks in the kitchen right now. And he has to adapt. He's been trying. Has it been flowing as well as we would like it? No, it's not. Could it be better? Absolutely. So I would like to see Tobias get more opportunities. I'm big on this. I'm big on no matter what. You can never go out games, you're only getting 4 or 5 shots a game. That just can't be. Now, PJ Tucker can, Melton can, but it should never be a game where Melton or PJ shoot the ball more than Tobias. It should never be a game where he's only shooting single digit, getting shot at them. That's unacceptable. I don't know if that's maybe as a coaching staff, we can formulate ways to get him touches early or get him touches consistently, but that can never be the case, ever. Because I know we have James, we know we have Joel, we know we have Maxey. But Tobias is that missing link to me. That if you have a fourth guy, to me, we look at this team, he's the 4th overall option offensively. That's not bad. That is incredible. But because of his contract, we will say that's still not good enough. So, but for me, I want to see Tobias get more opportunities on a consistent basis. If he's not getting touches, hold on, stop. Let's run this little step to get him something on the post up. That's going to say to get him some little ISO situations here on a weak side. We have to manufacture ways to get him going. If he can't find ways to get him going himself.
Well, let me ask you this, man. I just saw this last game. James took the last shot, and I was good with that. But my cohorts, especially Rob was like, well, why didn't Joel take the shot? He's right there in the basket. And I'm not even talking about the play before where he got a shot blocked. But I didn't have a problem with having James shoot that last shot. I think that's going to build and be better for him going into this playoffs because now we have 2 guys that can finish the game. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. James being a finisher.
Boom. James has been finishing his whole life. So when we got James, we have more options. Okay, so we all know this. We all know that. We all know the game. We know basketball. We know football. We know it all, right? We know something. The more options you have in crunch time, the more it's harder for a team to defend you. Yep. And that's why we go back to, we know before James, we always knew Joel was going to get the ball. We always knew that. We always knew Joel. Now you got James, you got Joel. It's like Doc Rivers can kind of sit back and say, you know what, okay, who has the better matchup? Who has the matchup at that time? Like, I've seen Joel on numerous occasions in crunch time step back and just give James space to do what James does. And I respect that because Joel can always be that guy, but he understands he has another closer on his team. So we take that down a notch and we say why I'll harp on the importance of Tobias. During the course of the game, the more guys you have to give you just different options to score the ball, the harder it is for a team to defend you. That's why I say it's so important for Tobias to get going. He don't have to have 20 points, but he darn sure can't have 8 shot attempts. That can happen because it gives the team more opportunities to be successful. So in crunch time, you know it's going to narrow down. It's not just narrowing down for Joel Embiid to be a closer. We have 2. And I'm going to tell you this. A big aspect of being a closer is being able to hit foul shots. That's very important. We have Joel and we have James that are both closers, but they both are incredible free throw shooters. And I think they're so underrated in today's game.
What for those of us on the outside looking in, what are some of the little intricacies we should look closely at for the rest of the season as they continue on this journey through this?
Some little things you need to pay close attention to when a ball gets kind of stagnant, when a ball is going James Joel, where's Tobias? I'm talking about when Maxey's not on the floor. Where's Tobias? Right? Where's Tobias? Has he go 3, 4, 5 times up and down the floor and not touching it? I'm not saying necessarily score the ball, but having an opportunity to put the ball in his hands and keep for him or somebody else, that gets him in the flow. Pay close attention to times where Tobias is not involved in a play for 4 straight plays or 5 straight plays. And then when he gets the ball, watch how difficult it is for him to really score the ball when you've been sitting, or not necessarily sitting, when you've been standing for 5 straight plays, then all of a sudden you try to get and create because you don't know when the next time you're going to get it. So look for that because I think that is going to be that's a problem to me now we have as a team. And I think that's going to continue to be a problem until we can find a way to get Tobias consistently involved. And like I said, I mean involved. I don't mean for him to score the ball every single play, but I mean for him to have an opportunity to feel the ball, to get into the rhythm of the offense. I think that's something we have to pay close attention to from now to the playoffs.
Mark, what distinguishes this team than say a couple of these teams that have been bounced in the second round in your estimation? Like what do they have that can get them past that hump that they haven't been able to get over?
Well, the first thing is no more freak accidents, guys.
Right.
No more freak accidents. You know, I really think when playoff time comes, he's not going to like this. I think we should isolate Joel. You know, only allow Joel to walk when he's on the basketball court, pick him up, put him in a floating plate, put him to his dinner, go to the bathroom, in the shower with him, and then we play him and we put him back on the court. He's not
bubble wrap him. Yeah.
Period. I
Yeah.
think no more freak accidents. I think that's the key. But I really believe, and I know we lost to Boston, guys. I know we lost to Miami. I look at this team. I don't think now. I'm about to say the fear word. In a 7-game period, and y'all know me, I'm a Philly guy. I never have been a homer. I never will. But Boston made a big move, bringing in another stretch 5. That was a big move. I know Al Horford got hot last game. I think he had 5 threes, 4 or 5 threes. But I love him. He's not going to do that consistently. But when they brought in, what's his name? The stretch 5. Muscala. That's another stretch 5 who is a consistent shooter. So that worried me. And then another thing that a team did that nobody's talking about is Milwaukee bringing in Crowder. Because, you know, he hasn't played this year because he kind of have a deal with Phoenix that he just go home and wait till he trades you. That's a big move. That gives Milwaukee another a defender, a long wing that can hit the standstill 3. So teams are bringing in these floor spaces, and they already have Brook Lopez and Portis, which are also now 3-point shooters. So now everybody's goal, people can say what they want, but everyone's goal is to get Joel away from the rim. Everyone's goal. So now with Joel on that rim guard, with that perimeter guard guys, it leaves the lane open. I know we've lost those games versus those teams, but I don't really fear these teams. Can adjustments be made? Listen, I would go in a street fight versus any of these teams, this 76ers. I really believe we have a shot. I really believe that. Now, that shot depends on Tobias getting involved consistently and Maxey getting involved consistently scoring the ball.
Well, all right, then there it is then. So do we have enough in Doc? Can Doc Rivers, can he do it?
I see what you did there.
You know what I'm saying? Can he do it though? Can he coach these guys up to get them where they need to go?
I'm gonna tell you this. Morey and Elton Brand put the pieces there where it needs to be put, and they just said, "Man, we gave you the pieces. What you gonna do with it?" So is Doc good enough? Absolutely, he's a champion. He's top 10 in the NBA in all-time wins. He's been around the block and some. But the thing is, can he gel them in time? There's no more excuses. Last year we got James with a season, but no, we've had a whole season now. This is the season. All the pressure's on Doc. All of it. And Doc's my man. I love him. Sam Cassell's my brother from another mother. But the pressure's on them more than it's on anyone that's in those uniforms playing on that court.
Okay.
How much do you concern yourself with the rebounding issues, Mark? They are not a good rebounding team. You saw the way the game started the other night. 9 straight offensive boards for the Heat, man.
Can't have that.
It's been an issue all year. And some of that's but some of it is they just don't rebound well.
I agree with you. And I don't care how great a defender you are. I don't care how great of a defensive team you are. But defense ends when you get the rebound. And if you keep – I'm a boxing fan, right? So if you keep giving up offense rebounds, it's like you and your opponent is in the ring and you're evenly matched. But you keep absorbing body shots. Eventually, you're gonna get your legs get tired. You're gonna get walked down. That's the same as the Sixers. They play great defense, but they give up the offense rebound. Eventually, it wears you down. Eventually, it tires you out. So by the time that 7th, 8th, 9th round, you were just physically beat up from taking those rib shots. That's the same thing with getting them offensive rebounds. It's so important to understand. You look at a lot of great teams that had a player who was a top 5 team in the NBA in rebounding or has a major inside presence. A lot of times as the rest of the team, you just stand and look like, oh, he got that. And you don't give that slight bit more effort to rebound when you have such a major impactful player on the court with like Joel Embiid. So a lot of times you mentally don't think I gotta crash a glass. No. But if you look at some of the more undersized teams that don't have that huge size presence, you look at a lot of teams that just have smaller and they rebound the ball. They know they have to do it collectively. They don't have a 7'1", 280-pound, gigantic person who they can rely on. They know it has to be a group effort. And that's the reason I think the 76ers struggle on a rebounding, because they see we have Joel Embiid, who's massive. And Joel Embiid is so massive, like, oh, he got it. No, he doesn't have it. There has to be a collective effort by everyone.
All right, Mark, staying on that defensive theme, how much do they need to improve on their perimeter defense? If you look at the last two games in particular, the opposition's having way too many wide open looks beyond the arc.
Yes, and unfortunately, that's not going to improve, because now the game is trending them more threes. Not saying the Sixers not going to get better, but I'm talking about the way the game is played.
Right.
Everyone's going to be standing around the three-point line. That's why, respectfully, the marginal teams in the NBA, if you look at the win or loss records at the bottom of the totem pole, is because they have guys on the wing that can shoot the ball. So you always have a chance to get back in the game. I think that now the trend is a lot of people say, oh, the game is fixed. How can a team be up 20 and lose that lead? Because of the three-point shot. And everybody's bringing in more shooters, or guys are working on their ability to shoot the three. So they always have a shot. So with that being said is, you can't have three-point shooting while having a one or two players that can force a double team, that can force help. So the reason why the Sixers are struggling so much guarding the three is we're playing some teams with elite talent on the other side. So you got Tatum, you got Brown. When one of those guys gets to the paint, you have to bring help. So then they kick it, and then guys are rotating the help, but down the ball's constantly moving. You're already behind an 8-ball because you couldn't keep that one player from forcing a double. Now you're in a scramble mode. So that's something we have to improve on. We have to improve on one-on-one defense, keeping guys in front of us, because that will prevent them from getting many open looks from the three.
Okay. Mark, what do you think tonight, man? Do they bounce back against the Heat? They got the Mavs tomorrow night as well. The tough 1-2 punch here.
No rest for the Larry, brother.
Yeah.
No rest for the Listen, this game to me, if you think about it, the way we lost to Miami, we want to hurry up and we want to play them. We don't want to, respectfully, we don't want to play the Orlando Magic now.
Yeah.
We don't want to play Oklahoma City. We want to play Miami again because we know we should have beat them. We need to get them back now. And I love that we're playing them again right now. And then they say we got arguably maybe the best backcourt in the league with Kyrie and Luka. So you want them. Can we bounce back? I think we can. Should we bounce back? We should. Do we need to bounce back? Absolutely. Not necessarily for the win-loss, but for us minimally.
Yep.
The win-loss starts here.
No
we
question.
Lost to Boston, we lost to Miami, we're going to lose Miami again. And that's set a precedent. Like, maybe we may be not as good as we thought we were. And then the pressure starts coming. And once that pressure starts coming and you start questioning yourself, everything falls apart.
Mark, great analysis, man. We love having you on. And we appreciate you, and we enjoy your work on NBC Sports Philadelphia with Amy and Coach Lynham. And keep up the good work, my man. We'll keep checking you out. Tonight's
see you tonight, bro. See you tonight.
See you tonight. Yeah, Barrett will see you there.
Appreciate you guys.
Be good, man.
Thanks, Mark. All right, take care. Yeah, Mark Jackson does a great job, man. Joining us from the club, from the health club, man. And we love that he hops on with us there, talking Sixers. All right, let's come back, guys. We got a couple things we're going to hit in the open talk. You have a question for us. I actually, Coach Terrence, who do I think wins tonight? I think the Sixers win tonight. Feels like a Sixers win in my estimation. I didn't even look at the line, but I think they win. Let me pull up the line while we're doing this. Actually, right now, let's see. The Sixers are. It's an even line. Barrett, yeah, you have the Sixers winning too. It's an even line, which is telling me something. It's a Sixers game tonight. Sixers game. All right, we'll come back. Chat section questions. You have a question? Throw a question mark up there, and we will field them. And I got two things. I got a goofy baseball story and something that's right in my wheelhouse, in addition to birthdays and movies. Okay, we'll do all that when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Derek and Barrett Brooks. Rob Ellis, Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network, right back.